Morning, friends. Welcome back to the House of Tone. My name is Wes Lee. I'm a band instrument repair technician that started a YouTube channel to show what my life is like in the trades. I appreciate you stopping by, coming around for a visit. Let's jump into today's project. It's a cool old Conn Constellation trumpet. This has got to be one of the cleanest attic horns I have seen. This is in great condition. We're going to be doing detail work. So we're going to be getting these little dents. There's a couple in the bell that I'm going to try to completely make invisible. We're going to replace this slide crook. So I'm going to talk about how to replace a slide crook. That is red rot. And it concerns this customer. So he wants to have this tuning slide replaced. And so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to replace the crook, drill a new hole, mount the water key. Some other things that we're going to be doing is he is concerned where the lacquer has come off. And so I'm going to show a trick that I do to polish this back out in the same way that we do on a silver horn, where you put silver tarnish preventative, right? You're doing a patina sealer. We're going to do that same kind of thing on his trumpet. And so it won't stop it, but it will slow it down. We're going to clean all that up. It's going to get chem flushed and the whole bit. Let's get it torn down. Start by taking all the parts off of our old tuning slide. Water key and the nipple. Try to remove the tube and the ferrule. Now I'm going to buff off the old lacquer that was partially burned, make this look nicer. You want to make sure when you're buffing that you keep all your edges extremely clean. Using a heavy cutting compound like Tripoli, it's easy to round over your parts. So here's our old tube with all the rot, and here is our new. And so we're going to do this and this. And that, and we'll have a new slide. All that's left to do is everything. Okay, I like to use a little grease on my tuning slides just to keep any kind of, if I were to overheat and have solder leach, I don't want it to solder itself to the inside of the tubes. Like a glove, I'm really happy with that fit. I made the bends just right. Now I'm going to turn this upside down using the paste wax today. And that grease and controlling your heat keeps everything nice and clean. That's a little warm. I'm going to let that cool off before I touch it. Now we're going to neutralize the flux and then clean up the solder joints, make it look nice and heat white, heat white. I soldered it from one location on the front side. I didn't even try to hide it. This way it's going to be easier for me to buff off and clean out. Make it easy on yourself when you can. So here we go. Nice and clean, perfect alignment. Just beautiful. That's really great. Okay, I'm not going to worry about cleaning this up yet. I'm going to get the water key mounted on first. So we're going to start with doing the water key nipple. Get that in the right location. So we get the location marked. I always let my solder bleed over all the way around the water key. That way I know I've got full penetration. Neutralize the flux. Give a little heat and wipe action. Control your heat so much that you don't have to worry about using a solder clip and losing your part. It's all about control of your heat. Looks good, but wait, we have to make a hole. I set my drill bit to a depth that if it gets away from me, it won't go through the other tube. Lock it in. And I spin it by hand. Just going to grab up on it, gets through the solder, clean out the chip from the hole. Beautiful. Now we'll get this soldered in place. The water keys, that spring it's pushing against, and so it's got a certain amount of pressure. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we've got some bleed out. That way we know we have full contact, and then you just go in and clean it up. Not a big deal. Neutralize the flux. Heat, wipe, heat, wipe, heat, wipe. Rhythm. So here's our slide. Now we're going to buff it up, polish it. I'll spray some lacquer on it. We'll see you in a little while. On this operation today, I'm using Tripoli, White, and then Rouge. You have to make sure that you degrease in between each compound. Degrease it, and when you think you got it clean enough, you degrease it again. That's going to look great. So now we're going to target getting the dents out of the slide tubes. Next, we're going to target this dent that's in the top. It's right up here by the flare. I'm going to use a new slug. Ferree makes these slugs that go in on the Z60 dent machine. I find that I really have started liking to use these in the bell flares, especially for punch dents. So we're going to try it on this one. I'm going to drop down a size. This old nickel is very, very hard. We've got our dents out, and we're ready to go. And the last thing that I'm going to show is about the finish. So let's zoom in. Okay, so we have spots where the nickel has gone back to its original color, where the lacquer has come off. And so we're going to use a product called Miracle Cloth, and we're going to hand rag it over these spots. It has I don't know, it's a miracle, but it's got coconut oil in it. And it doesn't hurt even the softest lacquers. So we got a spot here on the mouth pipe. what we're going to do is we're going to actually use a wax on the finish of this, so it will slow down, because I have a lot of people ask me about full refinishing, and that's just not something that I do anymore. Now we're going to clean this off. Just use a good contact cleaner to get any kind of oils and grease off. And lastly, I like to use paste wax. Apply that to my spots. I'm going to let that dry. A couple minutes later, I can't tell how much of the haziness picks up on the camera. We're just going to take the microfiber and we're going to lightly buff it. And it just really cleans it up nice and seals that patina. Here's that front side that we did. It just keeps it from tarnishing back so fast in all those spots. So it's a cool little trick. We're ready for reassembly, and here is our slide, our new slide crook. Customer said that this horn had been in an attic for 50 years. Sure is in beautiful condition. And here are our results. Came out very nice. Our slide crook, everything matches up really nice. Can't even tell we worked on the bell. That's one beautiful constellation. Well, all right, thanks everybody for hanging out today. That horn really came out nice. That's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I hope you picked up some good tips on how to change a slide crook, and the soldering, and the clipping, and the setting everything up, using it as jigs, controlling your heat, all that little stuff. The slugs that go on the rods for the Z60, those things have become just invaluable. If I did not have a dent machine, I would buy just that rod and I would chuck it in my vise, which I do anyway. But it's got so many things. That one rod gets you so much area that you can cover with it. So that may be something if you're thinking about a couple of tapered mandrels and one of those rods that's got the slugs that can go in and do different jobs. That's pretty much a game changer for me, I think. So anyway, this one is good to go. I can't wait to hear from the customer, the reaction. Appreciate it. See you next time around from the House of Tone. This is Wes Lee signing out.